You are watching Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Now here's Ghost Hunter Joe.
Thank you, Kim. And hello, viewers. I'm Ghost Hunter Joe, and today's video was suggested by my longtime friend, co-worker, and fellow ghost hunter, Heather. So if it's a flop, it's her fault, and I take no responsibility for it. I worked with Heather at the Richland County Alternative Jail from 2014 to 2015, and I currently work with her at the Licking County Jail since 2023. I worked with Heather's grandfather and uncle for over 25 years at the former Ohio State Reformatory and the Mansfield Correctional Institution. This photograph of Heather and me was taken at the Licking County Jail in 2024 during a break-in training. The Licking County Jail is located in Newark, Ohio. I live in Mansfield, Ohio, so I have a 48-mile commute to and from work. Unlike other locations where I've commuted to and from work, including Cleveland and Columbus, there are no interstates between Mansfield and Newark, so I have to drive through every little town with their 25-mile-per-hour speed limits. In April of 2023, a deer ran into me as I was driving home from work one night in a Silver Bullet 2, knocking out my passenger side headlight, and I was unable to get it into a repair shop for 6 weeks. Since it was considered still drivable, my full coverage auto insurance would not authorize me to get a rental until it was actually at the repair shop and down for repairs. And my grandson was borrowing my backup vehicle, the Silver Bullet 1. In the meantime, I was pulled over 5 times in 3 days for only having one headlight. This factored heavily into my decision to trade the Silver Bullet 2 in for the Red Racer, and the rest is history. The police departments in these little towns between Newark and Mansfield are always out in full force during the graveyard shift every night as I drive home from work. And since I have made this commute 5 nights a week for 2.5 years, I pretty much know where they like to hide and watch for speeders. One night in April of 2025, as I drove home from work in the Red Racer, I was kind of bored and decided to play my Necrophonic Spirit Box on my iPhone over my car radio. For the record, I don't speed. I've been driving for almost 50 years and have never received a speeding ticket. So I don't know what made me think to ask the spirits if the cops were up ahead. This is the AmVets Post 95 parking lot on Ohio Street in Mount Vernon, Ohio, as viewed from the north at nighttime. It always has 1 to 3 MVPD mobile units laying in wait for speeders. While still 2 blocks to the east of this speed trap and unable to see it, I asked the spirits if the cops were in their usual hiding spot watching for speeders. The response over the spirit box was a very clear no. At this point, I assumed they got it wrong. To my amazement, when I reached the speed trap, there were no units. This was the first time in my 2.5 years commuting this route for there not to be an MVPD unit stationed there. Just inside the Belleville village limits, the speed limit drops from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour, as seen in this photo taken from the south. Just ahead and to the left, there is a golf course entrance. A BPD cruiser can always be found during the graveyard shift sitting at this entrance waiting for speeders to pass by. On the night in question, while still about a quarter mile to the south, I asked the spirits over the spirit box if the Belleville police officer was at his usual hiding place, and response was a clear yes. And sure enough, the Belleville police officer was stationed there, per usual. I live on the south side of Mansfield, and to my knowledge, there are no speed traps from the city limits to my house. So I didn't ask the spirits if the Mansfield police were stationed at any speed traps after entering the Mansfield Corporation limits. But to my surprise, as I turned off of State Route 13 and onto Hanley Road, and then onto South Main Street, As I drove past Post 70 of the State Highway Patrol, pictured here, a voice came across the spirit box saying, "Police." All I could do at this point was to thank the spirit for apprising me of the fact that we were passing the highway patrol station, even though I hadn't even asked it to. I hope the viewers enjoyed this presentation, and if you didn't, please don't blame me, blame Heather, who suggested that this content would make for a good video. And this is Ghost Hunter Joe saying goodbye, happy hunting, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe.